Gotta love sports.
Welcome to The Playbook, where we're talking sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. I'm your host, Mina SayWhat, and we're 100% digital, 100% live, and 100% real. Let's count them down. Welcome to The Playbook. It's our digital sports show. I'm your host, Mina SayWhat. We do this every Monday at 1:45 on our digital and social pages at RMB Philly. I want to bring in my brother, Sean Bell, sportscaster and podcaster, to the show. We got a lot to talk about. Hello, Sean.
What up? What up? What up? So much going down right before the show. So much.
Let's get to it. This is Philly Takes. Basically, the whole show is going to be a Philly Take. We got to talk about the biggest breaking news right now. Joel Embiid has COVID. I repeat, Joel Embiid has tested positive for COVID along with Tobias Harris, who we already knew had COVID. He hasn't been playing a couple games. Matisse Thybulle also as well. Isaiah Joe. It seems like Tobias is out here giving people COVID. What happens now? We play the Knicks tonight. We're number one in the East right now. How does Joel being out and Tobias being out simultaneously affect what we're doing right now?
Yeah, I don't know who gave who what, but listen, Joel Embiid is going to be out at least 10 days unless he can provide 2 negative tests in I believe, 24-hour period. So he could be back sooner than those 10 days, but it'll be 10 days if he can't do that. So, this team has been doing this for the start of the season, right? They've been playing without people, obviously playing without Ben Simmons, but they've had games prior without Tobias Harris. They've had games where other people had to step up. Shake Milton missed some time. He's back, but he's had to start and play big minutes. Tyrese Maxey has had to play big minutes. They've had to do it all over the place, right? Like, this is something they've had to do. And to their credit, they played really well with missing pieces. Okay, they've had to do it so far this entire season, and they're number one in the Eastern Conference, even though they've had to deal with so much. So, they're going to continue to play well as a unit, but at a certain point, you just don't have enough, right? Like, the New York Knicks are coming in to play Philadelphia tonight, and they're good, right? Like, they're really good. They're better. They were a playoff team last year, 4th, 5th seed. They're playing even better now, especially if Kemba Walker is back in there playing. Derrick Rose has played really well. Julius Randle is an all-star. So I don't expect them to win tonight's game. Not with missing this many players this quickly and not being able to properly prepare.
Can I ask you this? My cousin, every time something happens in sports, people call me. My cousin brought up a good point. There's so many players that have COVID on our team. Is it possible to bring someone up from the G League to get some bodies on the bench? Are we allowed to do that? Is there anything in there regarding COVID protocol where we can do that?
Yes, they probably do have some players. I don't know who are on 2-way contracts, right? Like guys at the end of the bench who have to play a certain amount of games in the G League and are allowed to play a certain amount of games in the NBA. So they can call it up, but I don't know the time frame, right? There's certain situations where people have played with just 7 or 8 players because they couldn't get those players up in time, or you have to give them a certain amount of notice. I don't know how the facts work, but they can get people from the G League, but I don't know what the time frame is for it. And if they even want to do it, because again, when you're signed to a 2-way contract, you can only play a certain amount of games in the NBA, and then you have to pay a certain amount of games in the G League. So they may not want to waste that for tonight, depending on the situation. So they can do it. I don't know if they'll use it here.
Yeah. Well, this is supposed to be kind of a celebratory show because we are number one in the East, despite all the drama with Ben and how our team has managed to really just push through all that and find some chemistry with some younger guys. And we just came off of our 6th win with the Bulls. Seth Curry has been balling. Sean, you said he couldn't give you 20 pieces every night. Seth has been putting up 20 pieces almost every night. So I feel like this team has like this armor around them where we keep getting hit with things and we still continue to thrive and be number one. And now this. So do you think that we will stay in this number one position? Can the team pull it together as they've been doing throughout the season?
No, I mean, I think they'll continue to play great basketball. Let me say that first and foremost. I think they have the chemistry. They have a unit that works hard and plays well. They have decent coaching in Doc Rivers. I think they'll continue to play well. I don't think they'll continue to be in the top spot because then Seth Curry has been playing great, best his entire career. Let's be honest, like Seth is not going to be a guy who's going to give you 24, 23 a night, every night. That's not who he's been for the most of his career, right? You can't continue to have Joel Embiid, who's consistently hurt, who's consistently having issues, and his team still be a number one seed. So yes, they're going to play well. They're going to do good things. But at a certain point, being depleted is going to affect you, and having a Joel Embiid is going to affect you. It may not affect you right now. 10 games from now, it will.
Yeah. Well, I agree with what you're saying. I have a little bit more faith in Seth than you do. I mean, numbers don't lie, Sean. Portland 23, the Bulls 22, the Pistons 23. I mean, give Seth a little Curry. He's pulling it together here every night.
Yes, it's respect, but at some point you are who you are and who you were coming into the season, right? So yes, you're starting off hot. It's like the other end, Dame Dollars. This is the worst start of his career, right? Like he's averaging like 17 points. His shooting percentage is awful. But at some point, Dame is going to be Dame because that's who Dame is. At some point, Seth Curry will continue to play well, but he's not a superstar. And that's what he's playing like right now.
Sean, taking shots. Well, I'm not a Danny Green fan, but he is back tonight. So at least we don't have three starters out, which it was looking like it was about to be that way. We only have 2 starters out. Okay. We spoke about Ben. The team has been kind of isolating that whole drama and continuing to play well, but his shenanigans continue. He has every excuse in the book for why he can't play, including mental readiness. Now, the team has tried to meet with him and have him meet with their doctors, but Ben has been refusing. Apparently, according to sources, he has his own mental health professionals that he is meeting with. However, those mental health professionals cannot provide the Sixers any information for obvious confidentiality purposes. So the Sixers are kind of in a rough place right now because they have no access to what his treatment plans are, what processes they're using, what the return time frame is. So they've started to find him again.
They just did, though. Ben Simmons, I know that may have been gotten lost in the Joel Embiid news, but Ben Simmons finally provided some of the basics to the Sixers today, right? He provided who his mental health doctors are, and who he's seeing right now to the 76ers. And that's what he wasn't doing before, and that's all he has to do because of confidentiality. So I'm guessing soon they're not going to be able to find him anymore or keep his money from him because now he is providing the basic information that he's needing to provide. But I will say this, whether you're being serious or not with this situation, whether he's being honest or not, you should never use your organization's doctors. Ever. I don't care if you work in TV. I don't care if you work as a teacher. I don't care where you work. That's like using your company's lawyers. You get your own lawyers because those lawyers are working for the company and want that company's business to go right, not yours. When you deal with your doctors and mental health and psychiatrists and therapists, you see your people. You don't see the organization's people. So Ben's done a lot wrong. I do think he's doing right in that. And I think everybody should have their own people and not the organization's people.
So it's funny you say that because I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking more along the lines of if you're seeing your own people, you're able to pick the person, right? So you're able to pick someone that's going to be on your side and perhaps say the things that you want them to say. So I thought more so along the lines of he's doing that for that reason, but I understand where you're coming from the player's perspective. You're absolutely right. So it's a difficult position, but I do know that Rich Paul has this all figured out. And this is a grand scheme, and it's very interesting to see play out. And I really think the league is going to change after this, like the rules and what you're allowed to do. I really think it's going to change after this fiasco.
I don't think it will. I don't, because even though Ben may be taking advantage of some things, like if you change the rule where you have to see their doctors, there's going to be more problems that you like. This situation is a one-off. And if you change it, you're going to mess up certain situations with individuals really dealing with mental readiness. And at the end of the day, Ben Simmons may be dealing with issues. I know a lot of people don't believe him. He may be dealing with actual issues and also want to be traded. Right? It doesn't have to be one or the others. He's doing this to get out, or he doesn't have issues. It could be, yes, I have some issues. I'm also trying to get out of here. So it's both, guys. It's both.
The world will never know. Well, in positive news, our coach Doc Rivers has gotten his 1,000th career win. It happened over the weekend against the Bulls. He became the 10th coach in NBA history with 1,000 wins. Congratulations, coach. This is how they celebrated his huge accomplishment.
I feel like a lot of wins. It means I have a lot of good players around me, man, and a great staff. So that's why you get it. So.
Why not?
Yes.
Congrats on 1,000, baby.
Thank you, baby. Hey, young fella, here's the speech. Team win right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, I got some. Game ball for the top.
1,000.
And this is when they all got COVID.
Stop.
Stop. You saw George Niang. You see Tyrese Maxey with their mask on. Listen, I'm not getting the Tobias Harris strain of COVID.
Jeez, you killing me, Mina. You killing them.
But congratulations to Coach. That's an incredible accomplishment. It's nice to see the camaraderie in the locker room. I think that's probably a big reason why this team keeps thriving.
Yeah, man, it's a fun atmosphere despite what's going on. So salute to Doc. Like you said, he's coached for a really long time. He's been good for a really long time, and he's had a lot of great players. So that's what you get.
Absolutely. We're going to continue Philly Takes because it's that kind of day after a word from our sponsor, Borgata. Welcome back to the Playbook. It's our digital sports show. I'm Mina SayWhat, your host, Sean Bell, joining us, podcaster and sportscaster. So we're continuing Philly Takes right now because there's a lot going on, switching gears a little bit to football. So our Eagles are in a tough spot right now, Sean. It's very hard to watch them. We took another L over the weekend to a 4-3 Chargers team that we could have beat. Final score, there it is, was 27-24. This game was very tight. I thought we could actually take this W and get our first home win. And it started to look like our offense was coming together, but the defense just was not there. And we just lost it in the final 6 minutes of the game. The Chargers just gave us no time to respond. What were your thoughts about this and your reaction to this game?
Oh, you're going to be mad, Mina. You're going to be mad.
Am I?
My thoughts is it's what I expected. That's my thoughts. I don't know why you Eagles fans are so hyped and so thinking that this team is going to win this game and win that game. This is what is going to happen. I felt like this was realistic. I predicted them to lose this game. That's what I thought, Mina. That's what I thought.
There's no point during the game that you thought we might actually get our first win?
No.
Sean!
I didn't think you were going to get your first win at home. Listen, like the expectations for this season isn't winning for me. That's why I'm not mad. That's why I'm not upset. My expectations with a first-year head coach, first-year defensive coordinator, and a quarterback that doesn't even have 16 games under his belt as a starter isn't to win, it's to grow. And I saw growth in that game. And that's why I said, okay, I like where this team is going. I like where this coach is going. I don't expect you to make the playoffs, win the division. I expect you to grow throughout the season. I said at the beginning of the season, I'm going to look at this team around week 10. And I'm going to say, okay, at week 10, were you better than what you were in week 1? And do you continually progress from week 10 to week 18? Okay. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing an offense, and I'm seeing Nick Sirianni finally run the ball. Right. I'm seeing him finally doing some of the things we asked him to do. And I'm seeing an offense that looks a lot better than it did a couple of weeks ago. I'm seeing Jalen Hurts still missing some throws and being inaccurate, but he looks better, right? He's making some better throws, and the offense around him is being coached better. So I like it. The one problem that I do have is Gannon, the defensive coordinator, okay? Yeah. Everyone else has gotten better. He hasn't, okay? Every quarterback has record days against him, and at some point you need to adjust. Like I said, by week 10, you better be better than what you were in week 1, and you better progressively get better to the end of the year. Gannon, everyone else is doing that. You have it. So that's what I'm going to narrow in on. So right now I say Nick Sirianni, he'll be back next year. Jalen Hurts, because of the quarterback market, he'll be back next year. Gannon, if you don't do what I said from week 10 on, you are going to be gone. That's how
okay, Coach Sean. So let's take a look at what Nick Sirianni thought about Jalen, because he as well really enjoyed Jalen's growth and liked what he saw on that field.
He just was really unfazed by the scenario, and he just showed a lot of poise. Down 7, there was nothing. Everything in his eyes said, "Put it on me," and let's go. Let's keep running the ball. Let's keep play action it. Let's make sure we're converting on third downs. And he made some unbelievable plays on third down. That play where he jumped over top and did the flip. And I think, if we would have won that game, that'd be a play that they showed over Philly for a long time. But he just was really composed in a tight situation, and that's what you want out of your quarterbacks. That's what I've seen out of good quarterbacks in my past. And so we definitely got to build on this. There's no secret. Jalen's had good practice the last 2 weeks. He's played 2 good games in a row. And so we just got to go back and have another week like we did last week offensively to put ourselves in a position to win next week.
I agree. We are seeing growth there. He's not taken off as he has in the past as much now. He's being a little bit more confident in throwing the ball and letting other guys get involved. Do you think Gardner Minshew moving up to quarterback 2 kind of put some pressure on him and it's causing him to play a little bit better? Do you think that has anything to do with that?
No, I don't. I think Jalen Hurts has been in this position his entire life. You go back to Alabama when he was benched and Tua came in. Like, this is not entire life because he was a 5-star recruit, but since he's been at Alabama, he's been in a situation with people breathing behind his back, and he's had to play well, and he's got to do well. I mean, the difference is just the coaching is better with running the ball. All right. All of a sudden, the last 2 weeks, you're running the ball 40 times.
Right.
Now all the pressure isn't on Jalen. He doesn't have to think about everything that's going on in the offense. He could just hand the ball off and go to the next play instead of before every play being like, I got to make the play. I got to figure out what's going on with the defense. I got to get everything in place. No, he's a young quarterback. Take the pressure off his back, Nick Sirianni. And that's what I like that he's done over the last couple of weeks. He's finally taken some of the pressure off of Jalen, which allows you to play better.
Yeah, and I think he's also building a trust with the other players and knowing, how they play, where they want the ball, things like that, what their capabilities are. It takes time to develop that trust. I'm really curious as to Odell Beckham Jr. being released from the Browns. There was some conversation about Philly being yeah, I thought you would say no.
No.
Because the second Devonta Smith starts doing his thing, Odell will have a fit, okay?
And even if Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns couldn't get him the rock, you think this team with a broken down offense and that now wants to run the ball 30 plus times is going to be able to get him the rock? No. like this is an offense that can only get one person the rock. The one wide receiver, everybody else got to get 2 catches a game.
Right.
So you come in a situation here and he gets open and Jalen is inaccurate and misses him. How pissed is he going to be?
Yeah.
Odell made it clear. I want to go to a winning organization or I'm going to cause some problems.
Yep. He wants to go to the Seahawks, apparently.
Yeah. You think this is a winning organization right now? No. So Odell will
Damn,
not
Sean.
get that.
We have potential. We have 2 and a maybe, okay?
Yeah, okay. That ain't gonna win you no spade hand, all right? 2 and a maybe ain't getting you nowhere, all right? He trying to go somewhere that's gonna run a wheel on that ass.
So let's talk about Devonta Smith. There was a big news story last week in the football world. Raiders wide receiver Henry Ruggs III. Ruggs, he was driving really fast in Vegas, 156 miles per hour. He hit another car. That car ends up blowing up. A young 23-year-old woman was in the car along with her dog. She lost her life. He now has been dropped from the Raiders, faces several felony counts, faces 22 years in jail. Now, Ruggs is Devonta Smith's friend. They played together. They roomed together in Alabama. This is what Devonta had to say about the situation when he was asked about it. First of all, my heart breaks for everyone involved, the family of the young lady that lost her life. It was hard at the beginning, but just coming in every day, being with the guys, they kind of gathered with me, helped me out a lot. So, I mean, at the beginning of the week, it was tough, but eventually the guys helped me get through it. It kind of gave me a bigger purpose, just going out there playing for my brother, knowing he can't play right now. Now, I don't know about you, Sean, but this kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit because I get that he has a relationship with Ruggs, but a woman lost her life. So the fact that you're playing for your brother who literally had a huge lapse in judgment and someone lost their life, this kind of struck me a little bit off. And I don't think he responded to that question the right way.
I mean, I think he responded the right way for half of the paragraph. You know what I mean? The first half of just saying this is unfortunate for everybody involved and my heart and prayers go out for everybody would have been that's it. That's all you say, you move on. Sometimes you don't have to actually elaborate. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, yes, that's his friend, right? That's someone he thinks he knows that man's heart. So he thinks, man, like that's not who he is. He's not a murderer. He's not this. But he made a tragic, very stupid mistake.
Right.
And I'm sure some of these guys have been speeding while impaired all the time. I know people have done it. I know athletes that have done it. And so they feel some type of sympathy for that person. But at this point, you got to just shut up and think about what the family's going to think reading those comments. Right? So just, yes, you want to have some type of love for someone in a tough situation, but you really got to recognize that person did something stupid, tragic, and doesn't need this outpouring of love in the public.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought it was distasteful, and I really, it changed how I looked at him a little bit. You know, you have to have sympathy for the woman who lost her life, not the man who lost his job. He has his life. He walked away from this. So did the girl in the car. They both walked away from this being very irresponsible, and this other woman did not. And it's very unfortunate that he felt like he had to say he's playing for his brother. He really should have been playing for that young woman. Real quickly, Kanye West apparently has been investing billions into Ice Cube's Big 3. I love to see it. You know, small businesses and startup ventures, not even like this is a small business. Startup ventures, they need the support, and it's nice to hear that Kanye was doing that. And you're not here for it, I see.
They could both kick rocks.
Okay. Okay, well, moving on. Let's get to plays this week. All right, Eagles, Broncos, Sunday, 4:25. It is an away game. I take it you have us losing, Sean Bell.
It's going to be a close game. I am pretty flawless right now when it comes to my Eagles take so far.
Oh,
I've only lost 2 games. So what does that make me? I'm 6-2 with my predictions. Okay. Yeah, I know. I'll tweet out my final prediction. This is a game they can win. I'll say that. I do think this is a game they win, even though the Broncos are coming off a big freaking win. So
yes, they just beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, they just beat the Cowboys, and I know Philly's happy about that. But you know, they're a solid squad. But I do think the Eagles can win this game. It can go either way. I'll put it that way.
All right, the Sixers are going to have a tough road this week without 2 of our starters. Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris, who, if you're just tuning in, have COVID. So tonight we take on the Knicks. They are excellent, the Knicks, this year. 7 p.m. It's a home game. Tomorrow the Bucks, and we're playing the Bucks. Like Joel, Tobias, we don't have our guys, and we're matching up against the Bucks, the Raptors on Thursday, and then the Pacers on Saturday. Can we get a win? 2 wins, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. Listen, the Bucks aren't a tough game right now. They're not playing well, and they're without Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got Giannis dominating, and Grayson Allen playing decent, but that's not. They're not the championship team they were last year, and because they're waiting for guys to get healthy. So potentially again, Tobias Harris just needs 2 negative tests in the time span, so he could be back. Him and Thibault could be back at some point during this stretch. I think the Knicks game is the only game that I'm picking right now for them to just lose outright. But I think they can go 2-2 during this stretch.
All right, I like
then, yeah, I'm just some positivity. That's dependent on. I think Tobias may be back. From my understanding, he's vaccinated and he can get 2 negative tests. He's already been back out for a little while, so he can be back midway through the stretch.
All right, Sean Bell, where can they find you?
Sean Bell Live, Twitter, Instagram.
All right, you can find me here every Monday, 1:45, our digital sports show, The Playbook, presented by Borgata. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching The Playbook. I'm your host, Mina SayWhat, and you got something you want to talk about next week? You can always hit me up on social media at Mina SayWhat, and make sure you join us 1:45 next Monday on R&B Philly's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. We'll see you then.